What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today we're gonna focus on the Fire Knight dungeon, stage 25 to be more specific. This is going to be an endgame guide, so don't worry if you're not there just yet. Sooner or later, you will be farming stage 25 and this guide will help you regardless. Now in this video, I'm gonna show you how to build the champions, how to set up the teams. I'm actually gonna show you 3 different teams. We're actually gonna talk about possibly 5 different teams. The main idea is they're gonna be some core champions, key champions, because we are building the best teams for it, the fastest teams. Of course, you will be able to build teams for that dungeon with different champions, but will take you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus minutes, depending on your roster. In this video, I'm gonna show you some of the best Fire Knight teams all around. We're gonna start directly with my team that I have on this account. So if we're gonna go at the Fire Knight, we actually have the super raids activated for it. The best time I got with it was 1 minute and 1 second. Now, if I would change a couple of masteries on my seer, I would manage to get this time a bit faster. But for the moment, I need her the way she is. So this is the team that I'm running, guys. I have Royal Guard, Allure, Renegade, Seer, and Ghostborn. Now, the main problem with stage 25 on the Fire Knight, I'm gonna start like this. If you wanna have a fast farming team, you need Allure, okay? Without Allure, you're not gonna be able to have a fast farming team for this dungeon, or at least I'm not aware of a team that runs very fast without Allure. If no, you're gonna have a team that beats this dungeon, is not a problem, but it's not gonna be a fast team. Bring in a Reviver, bring in an attack down on the boss, and you're just slowly gonna kill the boss without a problem. You might need heal reduction, you might be able to use reflect damage as a strategy. A lot of different things can work on it, but it's not gonna be as fast, you know? So I'm showing you the best teams out there. I'm not gonna do a team that is gonna take 5 to 6 minutes. The next thing is that Seer and Allure, they kind of need to be pretty solid with their builds, you know? You wanna have a lot of crit damage on Seer because, honestly, out of the new dungeons that they came out, stage 20 to 25, the Fire Knight has the thickest HP mobs on the waves, okay? So you need that Seer to be able to nuke them down. You're gonna need a lot of buffs on your team. You need a shield set. You need to have blood shield accessories on everyone except Seer. If you're missing it on a single champion, this run is not gonna be as reliable as it is right now, because you won't be able to one-shot the mobs every single time, you know? So that's gonna be a bit of a problem. Even like this, we're still not one-shotting them all the time, and we have one left with a little bit of HP that gets knocked after by Allure's A1. But basically, the setup that I have on them, guys, nothing on Royal Guard. On Allure, I don't want her to use the A1, A2 and A3, sorry. Only to start with the A2, and that's it. On Seer, we want to prioritize the A3. I want her to use the A2 on the second round. On Renegade, we start with the A1. We want her to go before Seer. You see, she's a bit faster than Seer. But then the Masteries will actually change all this around once Seer gets to kill the first wave. She's going to go with the A1. She's going to get a buff from the Blood Shield ring. So it's going to come extra like another buff on her. Then Seer is going to be able to nuke harder. Ghostborn, we don't change nothing on him because he's going to use the right skills in the right order. Now, if you don't have solid builds on your champions to deal damage, for example, but you're getting the right speed on Allure, you're getting the right crit damage on Seer, it's fine. You don't need to have a full crit rate and this crit damage and attack on Ghostborn, for example, or on Renegade, or on Royal Guard, because your run is just gonna probably take a bit longer when you get at the boss, but the rest is gonna work just fine. Royal Guard, on the other hand, it might be a bit important to have good crit damage on him, just so he nukes harder on the waves, you know. But let's give it a go. I think, I'm not 100% sure, guys. I think this team was created by Ron from GNL, so credits to him for making this team like ages ago. I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm not sure for the other teams that I'm gonna show you, like who tweaked them around and stuff. You see what I'm talking about? That's exactly what happens there. Now, on this wave, everybody's gonna do the damage. The Blood Shield accessory is gonna pop in. We're gonna get those extra buffs. Royal Guard is gonna nuke. We're gonna have that extra buff from Seer as well. So it just works perfectly there. When we get at the boss, I actually want to have Renegade to start with the A2. That's why I need her to go in this order. And like that, I actually have 3 hits helping me to knock that shield down. And it's such a big safety net with Allure being at the speed that she is, because the thermometer on the boss, sorry, is pretty much always under 50%, you know, and it stays there. That's the main idea. I haven't seen a single failure with this team, and I've been running thousands of runs, honestly. Not even a single failure. Very, very nice team. Sometimes it goes a bit over 1 minute and 10 seconds. Now it might take a bit longer because I have two games open up at the same time, so that might slow it down by a few seconds, but it averages around 1 minute and 5 seconds on pretty much most of the times, you know. Now, let me quickly show you the builds on this. If I would change the Masteries on Seer, of course, that's gonna make it a bit different. So if we're gonna start with... we gotta go all the way to find Ghostborn. He was kind of like our legendary in here. And he should be all the way here. I have him built on immunity, okay? This is kind of like what I have on him. Total stats, 40k HP, 4.2k attack, 2.5k defense. I have him at 233 speed, so he is the second fastest champion in the team. I have a bit of an overkill on crit rate, seems like. 224 crit damage, and of course we have accuracy. Now, probably you're wondering, Skratch, why you have accuracy on him? Isn't his defense down from here unresistible? Yes, but then he needs it for the A1. When you get at the boss, he's gonna land this with the A1 on the boss, helping us to kill it faster, you know. We're gonna deal more damage from a War Master procs and all this. In terms of Masteries, that's what we have on him. Offense and support tree. That's, of course, to help his with the A1, with the defense down. And you want to have Evil Eye on pretty much every single one of the champions. That's going to help quite a lot on the boss. And we have tier 6 War Master. Now, War Master is important to make the run faster, you know, to run more smooth. If we're having a look at Allure, I actually have her on immunity and a speed set. She's not even that crazy fast for this team. For the other two that I'm gonna show you, she is a bit faster. Preferably, you wanna have her on immunity because that's an extra buff. Kind of like the same situation with Ghostborn. You see he's on immunity. I just realized I forgot to mention that. You wanna have them on immunity just to have that extra buff. This is probably the best and most reliable team for the Fire Knight stage 25 in the entire game, okay? So it's literally the creme de la creme, you know how I like to say that. So that's the build on Allure. Of course, I have crit rate gloves on her. I still have a bit of space to give her more speed if I need with glyphs and all that. But I feel like she works just fine the way she is. Now, one thing to keep in mind, guys, you don't actually need to have full crit rate on the magic champions because you're going against weak affinity. So you are getting the bonus of having some extra crit rate from that, you know. I think it's 15%. I'm always forgetting that, but I think it's 15%. So you can actually run with 85% crit rate and it's just fine. In terms of Masteries, pretty much the same cup of tea, Evil Eye, but I'm going all the way down to Giant Slayer because on her A1 is a triple hitter and she's constantly gonna use that skill. If we're gonna go to the next champion, and that is Royal Guard, is actually the third fastest champion in the team. He is built on a Savage and a Speed set. You see, I have Blood Ring accessories on every single one of them. It doesn't matter what they are as stats. What it matters is to have one, okay? Honestly, it doesn't matter what. Just have one, even if it's rubbish in terms of rolls, it's just for that extra buff, you know? Total stats on Royal Guard, 31k HP, 4.5k attack, 227 speed, full crit rate. You don't need full crit rate, but I'm running him on the Hydra Clan boss as well, so I don't want to change gear every time I'm playing them around. So keep him with full crit rate if you're using him somewhere else. If no, you can actually drop a bit of crit rate if it means that you're able to get better stats on him. 239 crit damage. Masteries, very similar with what Ghostborn has. Tier 6 War Master. And here we actually have Cycle of Magic, Spirit Haste, and we have Sniper. Now, if you're running, for example, Refresh accessories, that can mess up your team because they're not gonna follow the same steps anymore. They're gonna use different skills at different moments, and that's gonna be bad. So you wanna make sure you're not running those refresh accessories on these champions. I'm normally running that on my Royal Guards for the Hydra, but never on the one that I'm running in the Fire Knight, just to let you guys know. If we're gonna have a look at Renegade, she's on a shield set. The more buffs for Seer to it, the better. Blood shield accessory on her too. Total stats, 43k HP. The amount of HP you have on her doesn't matter, okay? You want her to have some damage, give her attack, 2.5k attack, 206 speed, 100 crit rate, 203 crit damage, 246 accuracy. You want to have accuracy on her just because of the A1 Evil Eye, and mainly the A2 that has decreased speed. This one right here. This can help you too on the boss in case if Royal Guard doesn't lance his decreased speed, for example. Masteries, pretty much the same thing like Royal Guard, you know. Tier 6 War Master and a couple of things different, but they all serve the same purpose. Evil Eye. And the last champion for this team is Seer. She is built on a Savage and a crit damage set. Now, she needs to have a lot of crit damage just to knock down the waves. I actually have a bit too much crit damage. I should put War Master on her really, because she's gonna do the job pretty good the way she is at the moment. Total stats, 40k HP, 3k attack, 2.3k defense, 205 speed. You see she's 1 speed slower than Renegade, but on the second round she's gonna go faster because of Masteries. Full crit rate, she needs 100% crit rate, even if you're using an increased crit rate buff, okay? Because she's gonna eat the buffs before she's gonna deal damage. That's one thing to keep in mind. 325 crit damage, 287 accuracy. Now, the minimum crit damage you should have on Seer for this to work on Savage is around 300%, okay? 300 crit damage should do the job without a problem. Mainly when you're talking about Masteries, you would want to have War Master. Now, on mine, at the moment, I have Flawless Execution. That's something that I gotta change and get War Master on her, and that will make her run. That will make the run a bit faster because she's gonna proc a couple of War Masters here and there on the boss, and I might save a few more seconds on my best time, but it's not something that's gonna be necessarily more consistent. One thing I will suggest you to don't get on her on Masteries is Helm Smasher. Even though it will help you with damage, sometimes it's not consistent, and that's not gonna work good enough, okay? So either go with War Master. If you need more crit damage, go with Flawless Execution. Just make sure you have over 300. The thing with her, guys, yeah, probably you guys are like, oh my god, 300 crit damage is impossible. It's actually not. She doesn't need to have attack. You don't really need to focus on HP or whatever other stats on her, honestly. Just give her whatever chest piece you have. If it's resistance, it's fine. If it's accuracy, it's fine. If it's a flat chest piece that has crit rate and crit damage and it rolled you good because you wanted to roll it, it's fine. Just make sure you are combining these two sets together to be able to achieve this amount of crit damage, you know? That's kind of like the main tip I'm gonna give you on this. Now, I'm actually gonna jump on the other account to show you different builds here. So this is a team with Mashald and with Lydia. We don't have Ghostbone here, so this is kind of like the second best team, even though they are a couple of different teams that I don't have access to show you guys. With a Krutraxa, for example, you could put a Krutraxa instead of Mashald, and that run is gonna run amazing too. If Lydia is gonna get resisted with defense down, Krutraxa is gonna clean up, you know? That's kind of like the whole situation here. I could run this with a Kymar and have it faster, but I want to show it to you with Renegade. And if you don't have a Mashald, okay, and you'll be like, well, this is pretty hard to achieve, it's fine. If you have Helmet, the champion from the Doom Tower, which probably if you are looking to have speed farms for Fire Knight 25, I'm pretty sure you already have the first epic from the Doom Tower that everyone gets, so you'll be able to do it like this. I'm gonna show you both of the teams and I'm gonna show you the stats after. They are teams like this, for example, with Ninja. They are not 100% win rate. I'm showing you teams that are at 100% win rate. This actually holds the record for the fastest Fire Knight team with 46 seconds, and I think that's owned by my clanmate Arcelan. He made the team. So it's fine if you're going for something like that, but it's not 100% reliable, you know? Because it's gonna fail at some point. Even though Ninja is gonna freeze the waves when Lydia gets resisted, so you're gonna have a CC and clean up. Once Kaima resets, it's gonna mess it up for the second round, and that's gonna take a bit longer, and it might fail when you get at the boss, you know? So that's one thing to keep in mind. But you see, speeds on Allure 293. Lydia, she's a bit too fast here. You don't need her as fast. And Kaimar is at this speed because probably it's used in Arena, you know? But that's kind of like to give you guys an idea. This is the preset. I'm not using Open Wounds on Mashald, just because I want to deal more damage with the A1 in case if Lydia does get resisted on someone. With the amount of buffs we have from this team, we should be just fine. It's going to be the same thing with a helmet. The same thing with the Allure. We're not using the A2 and A3, only when we open. Same thing with Seer here, Karma Burn as the first thing. And exactly the same cup of tea with Renegade. Let's give it a go. This is actually a bit slower, so it's not as fast as the other team. I have a feeling that it tends to run a bit slower for me, you know? You see, we didn't go resisted this time around, but you all know that 3% chance of getting resisted, and that can be pretty annoying. Even if you're putting your Allure, for example, and Mashald on immunity, it's gonna help, but it's not necessary since you have so many buffs, and Mashald comes in with the A1, deals a bit of damage. You see, we had actually one mob left alive there, and I think Renegade took the turn there and used the A2. Yeah, so that can actually mess you up a bit at the boss if you're not knocking down the shield and the thermometer on the boss. That's why you want to have that Evil Eye. Very important to have it on. And the more you're using it, the safer it is, basically. Like, if we don't have decreased speed now coming from a Renegade, soon we might be getting in trouble, you know? So we want to make sure the team runs smooth. If we're gonna have more speed on Allure, which is kind of like, you need to have her at around 300 speed. That's kind of like the main problem with this team. Even if you're running Krutraxa, even if you're running Ninja, if you want this team to run smooth, to don't have any failures at all, Allure kind of needs to be at 290 plus to 300 speed. It's not that hard to get it when you're in endgame, guys. If you're newish account, 2, 3, 4 months, yeah, it might be a bit hard to be like, well, I gotta break my arena team to do my Fire Knight team. It's not really fun, you know? So I definitely understand that as well. 1 minute and 31 seconds. If we're gonna have a look at the next one, actually, I don't want to go on the tournament. I hate that those things are always popping off there. We're gonna go with Helmet. I wish this aura would actually be good for dungeons, but hey, nothing from here actually helps us. So we just put him as a random there. It's pretty much the same thing. Mashald gets replaced by him. He's gonna be at the same speed, in the same speed order basically. He's gonna use all those buffs so Seer can come in and bang, do this, you know. That's pretty much the whole thing. Now, if somebody gets resisted again, we might be having a bit of an issue, but we shouldn't really, because we actually have more buffs this time around from a helmet. And if you have blood shield accessories, make a use of them, because it will just help your team to don't encounter any issues on the waves, you know. But you see here is already a bit better since Renegade started with the A2 on the shield. You're not getting that close to the limit with the thermometer. And once that decreased speed lands on it, it's pretty much game over. It's game over right now, but the boss doesn't know it just yet, you know. He still thinks that he has a bit of a chance of killing the entire team. Only if he knew what would actually happen to him, you know. This seems to be slightly longer than the other one, but I think these teams, both of them, they kind of average in between 1 minute and 20 seconds to 1 minute and 30 seconds. I haven't used these two teams too long to be able to tell you exactly, but I've seen them around and it's around there. With Krutraxa, for example, instead of Helmet, you should be able to get a bit under that, like 110, 115, 120 as average, because she's actually dealing more damage than so many support champions in the team, you know. And Lydia has slow animations. that matters a lot as well. How slow are the animations, you know? But that's pretty much the way this team works, for example. So these are kind of like the 3 teams I wanted to show you guys. If we're gonna have a quick look at the builds on these champions, we're gonna start with Mashal. He's on a Savage set and a crit damage set. Total stats, you kind of need to have some speed on him. You want him to be the second fastest after a lure. You don't really need to have these stats on him, but we are running him on the Hydra as well, if I'm not mistaken. Masteries, offense, support 3, tier 6 War Master on him. Lydia, she is actually on immunity and a broken set. Total stats, 263 speed, 422 accuracy. You don't need that much, you only need 250, and that's about it. Speed and have the right amount of accuracy. Masteries, we have tier 6 War Master. I would suggest you to get Evil Eye on her as well if she is playing an important role on your Fire Knight team, because it's gonna help it to make it more successful. Like, you've seen how we got close to the boss to get a 10 there because of what happened with Renegade. This is gonna reduce the chances even more to get that close. If we're gonna go all the way to the bottom, it's kind of like started from the bottom, now we're here. Where is here? So that's what I'm talking about. Crit damage and a Savage set. She actually has 300 crit damage here. Full crit rate, 198 speed, 300 crit damage. And the HP, attack, defense, this doesn't really matter. Accuracy is a bit important for the Doom Tower if you want her to do the job, you know. But I think we have a what? HP chess piece on this one. Masteries, offense and support 3. You really want to have Whirlwind of Death. That's important because the minimum speed you should have on her once she actually has this Masteries activated, it should be over 206 speed to make sure she's overlapping the second wave. You know, she's taking 2 turns before they're taking a turn. If not, that's gonna slow you down. So consider the minimum speed on her when you're making these teams. Then we have Helmet. It's just on speed and accuracy set. Total stats are kind of like here. 276 crit damage, speed, sorry. 140 crit damage. How I mentioned, you need full crit rate on Seer because him buffing crit rate, it doesn't mean that she's gonna be on full crit rate. She's gonna eat the buff and then she's not gonna crit, okay? Then we have Allure. She's on 3 speed sets. Total stats, 294 speed, not full crit rate because we don't need it since she's strong affinity. 169 crit damage, 243 accuracy. Masteries, copy the exact same thing I showed you before on the previous one. And here we have the last champion, Renegade, on a shield set and a crit damage set. Total stats, 203 speed, so she's a bit faster than Seer, but once Seer kills all those waves, she's gonna come in front of Renegade. Full crit rate, 227 crit damage, 273 accuracy. And Masteries, War Master, Evil Eye. That's it pretty much. These are kind of like 3 of the best Fire Knight teams out there that are 100% win rate, reliable, and yeah, guys, I know they are a bit gear intensive, some of the champions. It's not the same if you don't have a lure. You won't be able to make any of these teams, unfortunately. But I just wanted to make a guide on this since I haven't made one on the Fire Knight. But that was all for this video. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Much love, and I'll catch you all soon in the next video. Peace.